Wouldn't it be nice to have absolutely no injuries ever again to your body? Think about how wonderful that utopia would be. No expense, no frustration, no time away from the things that you love. Sounds dreamy. So can we achieve it? I'm going to answer that for you today and give you 4 of my very best tips to help you make your body more unbreakable and ready for everything and anything, all the things. Okay, but first I have to do the YouTuber thingies that they tell you to do. 1, the subscribe button's down below. Everyone does this. Like, obviously it's down below. You see it. So if you want to subscribe to my channel and get all the videos that I'm going to be putting out in the future, push the button. And if you want to be notified of the new video when it comes out, push the bell thing. That'll notify you. And then also, if you'd like to learn more about me and the programs I offer and other things I teach, you can find me at my 2 websites, which are linked down below. Both of them are theunbreakablebody.com and fitforreallife.com. All right, so let's get into this. Can you actually make it so you never get hurt again? Well, I have a question for you. Do you live in a bubble? Because unless you do, which comes with its own problems, you can't eliminate any risk for injury. And if someone is saying that you'll never get hurt again if you do XYZ, you should question that a bit further, because they can't control the future. They can't control the randomness of sometimes life just happens, and sometimes your body just moves a funny way, or someone runs into you, or your kid jumps on you in a certain way. These things just happen, and we can't eliminate that. But all hope is not lost. There is something we can do. First, though, I want to dispel a really common myth, and you can read it on my shirt. This notion that you can reach too old. And what I mean by that is people will say that, well, you are 40 now. What did you expect your knees to feel like? Or, you're 50 now. Maybe you want to start slowing down a little bit. This notion that you're too old to be as active as you want to be or to feel as good as you want to feel is ludicrous. And I care about that so much that I put on shirts. These will be available in my shop. And you will be able to share the message with the world at large. But I want you to believe that. I want you to know that. And if you've been betrayed in any way by your body, you felt like, wow, it really didn't hold up for me, or I thought it would hold up and it did something different, or it took a long time to heal, I understand. If it can be hard to believe at first that you can actually feel great in your body, all the while knowing that you also can't eliminate risk. So my studies on this were really trying to understand what we're doing to someone when we say, well, be careful, you're 50 now. Or do you really want to do that? Are you sure you don't want some help? You're a little older now. Maybe you should start slowing down. I wanted to really dig into what what that does to someone mentally. And I actually came across a really cool study from this person who worked for the Child and Nature Alliance of Canada. Their name is Petra Jesse. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And they were studying what happens to kids when we give them this nondescript, be careful, when they're out playing on the playground or using a knife in the kitchen that you've taught them how to use, or doing whatever they seem to be doing that might have a risk to it. And what they found was that telling a kid, be careful, and having it be nondescript, and meaning by that I mean like, it doesn't have a directive. It doesn't say, be careful of the tiger that's just to your right, or be careful of that car coming down the street, or be careful of the children who are about to knock into you. There's no directive to where that should go, and there's no action of what they should take. There's no, be careful, put that down, it's hot. None of that. When we give that nondescript, be careful, which every adult has probably done at least once because they care, when we do that, though, we actually remove a child from self-awareness, and we give them this nebulous environment that they now don't know how to operate in. So what this person found, Petra, what they found was that when we give a kid that nondescript, be careful, we make them unsure of what they should be careful of, which then makes them unsure of what they should do next. And I thought that was really profound, because when we do that to adults, when we say, well, be careful, you are getting old now, we do the exact same thing. We instill a droplet of maybe not fear per se, but caution. And that caution removes us from our own agency and autonomy to know what is right for us. And it's probably well-meaning, just like it's well-meaning when we say to a kid, be careful, because we see them about to do something. It's well-meaning, but it's not helpful. And so what they found, it said, what this Petra, the Child and Nature Alliance of Canada found, was that what you can do instead of saying be careful is apply either direction if you're going to give the be careful. But better, you can take it one step further and say things like this. Like let's say they're up on a jungle gym that's really high. Hey, how do you feel up there? With that one, you're asking the child, they're checking in like, oh, well, how do I feel? And then I can tell you. And if they say, oh, I'm feeling scared, you can talk through that with them or come closer and be ready to assist them. If they're saying, I'm fine, you can then maybe follow up with like, hey, what's your plan to get down? Or leave them to it and let them continue to explore, provided you feel comfortable, especially if it's your kid, if you feel comfortable with what they're doing and you feel like you're close enough if something's bad is gonna happen. But you wanna change their focus from fear or awareness of some nebulous thing that they can't see and they don't know what they're supposed to be cautious of or how they should change the behavior accordingly, to, if they need to be aware, direct them to what they should be aware of and include them in the directive. Like, what would you do next? How do you feel about this? Are you comfortable with that? That way they're engaged and connected and they're able to continue exploring their edges, and they still have the freedom to bring you in and go, I'm scared, I need help. And they can pull you in and you can assist. And so with adults, it's no different. If we can help an adult, and I do this in my coaching practice all the time with clients, but you can do it yourself without a coach. If you can help yourself be included and a part of the risk exploration, the engaging with life that is naturally going to come with risks, you actually can do several really helpful things for yourself. And so here's what you can do. Number one, you can learn your own personal risk tolerance. If somebody says to you, be careful, you're older now, or be careful, I know someone who got hurt doing that, or whatever thing people spew at you, or you develop in your own mind, you can actually look into that and say, okay, how likely is that for me? What can I do to mitigate that risk? Is this as big of a risk as it sounds like it is from the person who said it, or the TV message that came through on the commercial, or the fear I've found in my brain that I don't even know how it got there, but it's there? You can actually work with that fear or risk level and figure out what you can do to make yourself more capable of it, or decide that, yes, it is enough of a risk and I should be careful here and maybe should back away from the situation at hand. So number one, you have to learn your own personal risk tolerance. And the only way you do that is by living your life and exploring and pushing out into trying new things. Now, you can help yourself with that by doing some really valuable stuff, like learning more about the thing you're going to try, whether it's weightlifting, jiu-jitsu, running, rock climbing, any of these activities you might like to do. Learn more. You can read books, you can read websites on the internet, you can hire a coach, someone like myself, who can guide you and teach you so that you have knowledge of how to take that forward on your own in the future. But learning how to actually present yourself to the potentially risky situation can help you learn it's not as risky as it might have seemed at first. You're more resilient and capable of tolerating that risk than you thought, and your edge for tolerance is further out than you thought once you actually get in and kind of, wrestle around in there a little bit with that risk tolerance. Number two, build your capacity with your body so that you have far more that falls under the line of, I've passed my point of comfort with risk. If you have more things you can do, more strength you can manage, more mobility and control that your body can use, you're going to have more positions, situations, and activities that you can be a part of without feeling that fear increase that you might be getting too close to the edge with your risk tolerance. When we do that, I'm going to talk in a minute about how we build that tolerance. But one more thing here. You also want to learn and understand that you still cannot, even with the best laid plans, you cannot eliminate risk from your life. And so you want to take the opportunity that crossing that line brings you. So for example, if you overdo it in a workout and you kind of tweaked your back a little bit, or you overdid it with the grandkids or in the yard or going hiking, and you felt your body kind of like maybe you shouldn't proceed, but you did anyways. That's a lesson in, that's what it feels like when I'm close to going past where my body can tolerate, and I might get into some territory of This is not so much muscle soreness. This is more like, oh, I tweaked something and now I'm gonna have to kind of deal with this for the next couple weeks or months. The only way you get to do that though is by going out and exploring, building your tolerance so that you can explore even more with whatever activity or strength or movement you want to do, and then accepting that there's a learning opportunity in those times when you went a little too far, or the times when you did everything right, but just something random happened. You slipped on wet pavement, or your dog yanked you because they were going to chase a cat, or you tripped over your kid, or whatever. Like, things happen. Life happens. You can't eliminate that. Like I said, you don't live in a bubble. So making it so that you don't regret those experiences, but rather can learn from them is really impactful. Now, let's back up to that one I just talked about previously about building your tolerance. So I want to leave you with 6 areas of your body that you can work on. I call them the 6 pillars of an unbreakable body. These are 6 areas that if you focused on building these up to have enough mobility, control, and strength for what you need and the kind of life you want to live, you're going to find that you have a lot more that falls under that kind of uh-oh zone of getting too far in your ability to tolerate risk. So let's go through the 6 pillars of an unbreakable body now, from the ground up, because they're easiest to remember that way. At this base of support for you is the strong feet pillar. You want to build strong feet as they have a lot of ground sense that comes to your brain and informs your brain about how it should change the tension of all your other muscles. Of course, too, they also help you move through life. Unless you plan on sitting in a chair, which sometimes we do, and we want to work from a chair or do activities from a chair, a lot of times we want to get up and move around too, and we need our feet to be strong and capable of that. So at the bottom, we've got strong feet. Then on top of that, we've got mobile hips. And mobile hips are exactly like the sound. You want mobility to move through the complete range of motion that hips are built to move through. When we can't do that, we start to lose capacity of mobilities that we can enter. And you might find that squatting over in a certain way becomes now risky for you when it wouldn't be otherwise if you had more hip mobility, okay? Then number 3, we have strong glutes. When you build your glutes to be strong, they serve you to do lots of motion that you want to be able to do. And again, if you're sitting in a chair a lot, they're still going to be beneficial because weak glutes make it hurt to do a lot of things. And because of how they attach to the pelvis and how they move your leg and how they move your spine, they're going to create some challenges if they aren't as strong as they need to be. So having strong glutes is number 3. Number 4, strong torso. And that's everything in this middle section of our body, from our neck down to our pelvic floor at the base of our pelvis. This strong torso not only helps you be strong and stable through your middle, but when it is strong and stable, you actually can generate more force or lift more things or do more stuff with your arms and legs. And so we want to have a strong torso. After that, we're stacking these up now with this really big, strong base we're building. We've got mobile shoulders. And just like mobile hips, we need the mobility to move this guy through the range of motion it's built to move through. And our shoulders are a complex, which are highly mobile. But like I always say, with great freedom comes great responsibility. So we want to build mobile shoulders as well. And then finally, to build this beautiful base of a strong, capable, unbreakable body is the strong posture pillar. And strong posture is not about pulling your shoulders back and standing up straight. It's actually about being able to assume a multitude of positions with strength and control so that you can bend over to pick up your kids' toys that they didn't pick up, or do yard work, or twist and grab something, or jump up and do something, athletic based. That you can do all of that, and your body can stack and organize itself in a manner where it manages all of that and doesn't have one of those, oh, ouch, kind of tweaky moments for you. So to recap, strong feet, mobile hips, strong glutes, strong torso, mobile shoulders, and strong posture. I want you to focus on building these 6, and let me know, are there any of these 6 that you've never really built before, or you think you need the most help with? I would love to hear from you in the comments below what those are so that I can cater future videos to that. And if you'd like to build your 6 pillars so that you can be more strong and resilient and perhaps have fewer injuries in the future, you can get any of my programs at theunbreakablebody.com. I walk you through exactly how to build all of this up. So check those out. Take what I've taught you here and examine your own life. Where are you in terms of your risk tolerance? Are you exploring the boundaries in a healthy way where you learn what's at the edge of those boundaries and how to manage them? Or have you been hearing a lot of that, like, oh, you're too old for this now, and it's time to root out some of those things and start applying what I teach you in this video today? Anyways, leave me a comment in the comments below. I'd love to continue the chat there, and I'll see you again for the next video whenever I do one. Take care.